up, we're live. Hey everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm so sorry for the little mix up there. I was like behind the scenes, you should have seen me running around all over here trying to like get the cords in the right places. My cameras weren't showing up for a little while, but thankfully everything is worked out now. All the tech is fixed. So hopefully you guys can hear and see me. And hopefully you had some fun in the chat while you were waiting for me. Hey everyone, okay, it looks like I'm in now. It looks like you guys can see me well, so I'm really excited about that. All right, leave some thumbs up in the chat if you guys can hear and see me. But I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much again, Catherine, for inviting me back. This event is always one of my favorites. You guys are really, truly such an amazing community. I've never had such like a supportive community, and I was in the Facebook group yesterday and just going through and kind of looking at all the comments, and everyone is so positive and just having such a blast already, which is so wonderful. So this is my meet and greet time. I'm gonna walk you through a little bit about me, talk about who I work with. I'm here with Ranger, and I also work with Spellbinders as well, two amazing crafting companies. And I thought I would give you a little bit about my background, and then let's jump into the cards and sort of the kit as well. And I also wanted to share a little look into the Astro Paste as well, which we'll be using in today's class. Or not today's class, but in the class in the coming days, which is so exciting. I saw lots of comments that lots of you guys are excited about the Astro Paste and to try it out, which is going to be so much fun. So my name is Simon Hurley. I've been in the industry for 10 or 11. This is maybe my 11th year now, which is awesome. I kind of grew up crafting. When I was 12, I found card making, kind of stumbled upon it because I was always a super creative kid. So I would like look up on YouTube like what kind of crafts I wanted to do. I was like paper origami, and I was super into like crocheting my own stuffed animals. And then I stumbled upon card making once I found alcohol inks. And of course, like many of you guys, I saw tutorials from Jennifer McGuire and Christina Warner and Gina Kay, and just instantly fell in love with the hobby. Is my camera gone? All right, well, we're gonna switch it over to the desk. There we go. So this is my desk, because I don't know why my camera just shut off in the middle of this. But I instantly fell in love with card making and the whole world around card making. It's so wonderful, and I think, like I said, the community is what really makes this so much fun, but also the fact that there's so many different techniques that you're able to do. And I love the fact that each card is its own individual canvas, and you can really create like completely different things with the same stamp set and different supplies, which is so awesome. So once I got kind of into it, I started making crafting videos and tutorials, and I would work with these amazing craft companies to do these tutorials and bring videos to the internet. They were really bad at first, but you had to start somewhere, and kind of I would upgrade my video equipment little by little as I went to kind of keep making the videos a little bit better each time. And then when I was 16, Ranger found me, and I signed with Ranger to create a line of supplies, which was awesome because Ranger was the first brand that I ever worked with when it comes to loving their inks. And so I absolutely fell in love with their inks and their formulas. I think that it's so cool that they make a lot of their inks in the United States, and they have their own unique formulas. So I was really able to kind of shine in that area. And over the past couple of years, we've come out with many different types of pastes and my own line of inks, which has been so much fun with Ranger. And then I also work with Spellbinders to create dies and to create coordinating dies for all my stamp sets that I make with Ranger. And Spellbinders also has like the Better Press and fun things like that that we've also been working with and creating products for. So I struggled a little bit in school during those times, kind of getting bullied, and so this was more my like escape. Crafting has kind of been like a therapy for me to kind of come home and have this amazing community, and that was so encouraging, and to kind of jump into a whole different world and kind of get distracted from the real world, which wasn't too fun at the time for me. So that was sort of my story into the card making industry. That's kind of how I got involved in this, and I've loved it ever since. It's been wonderful kind of growing up in the industry, and kind of, growing up in front of all of you and with all of you in this amazing community. So let's jump into the cards that we're going to create in this class, as well as the supplies that are inside of the kit. Then I want to walk you through a little bit of your homework, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Astro Paste and the difference between all of the pastes. So here are the card making projects we're going to create. I think it's kind of fun to see them in person and on video because you're really able to see the sparkle and shine that you might not be able to see on just those photos. So this one has those really great snowflakes in that frostbite astro paste that's included inside of your kit, which is really cool. It kind of shines, and then also you've got, kind of that really great kind of sparkle to it as well with that clear paste. And there's also some that I added on that little hill there, which you can kind of see the texture to as well. In real life, these are just so beautiful. Then we have this one, which is that beautiful confetti background. And this is, believe it or not, just that strip of confetti that you're able to stamp several times. So that is so much fun, and I love the blending. Christopher Allen says, "Who bullied you? I need names." Yes, yeah. So this one is so beautiful with that blending, and I love kind of the birthday theme that we're able to get with the confetti. I love that he's holding a little balloon, because it really makes this penguin set more versatile than just winter. Like if you have some friends with winter birthdays, this can be so much fun. Then we have, again, another kind of birthday themed one. I thought it was kind of important to include the birthday, because I love birthday supplies because they really make anything all year long. And of course, that's going to be great. Like I said, for anyone with kind of a winter birthday, these are super fun. This could be great for Christmas as well, too. And then we have this one, which has that little guy with his fun little scarf there, and then that awesome layering stencil in the background with that great astro paste in that clear skies color. I love it. So much fun. All right. So those are the cards we're going to be creating. Now let's walk you through the homework. Let's jump into the homework first. So actually, well, we need to go through the kit in order to do the homework. So for homework, it's pretty simple. You're gonna have a piece of black cardstock in your kit for my class. And all you need to do is grab out your stamp set. So this stamp set that's included in here. And then also inside of the die set with Spellbinders, we included dies for everything inside of this set, except for, of course, that solid balloon, because that stamps inside of the other one. So every main image, and then the sentiments as well. And I love that Spellbinders did the sentiments too. It makes them really easy to cut out without doing any fussy cutting, which I know you guys hate fussy cutting. We've done it in years past, and you guys hate that. So this is great that we were also able to include those sentiments for you guys to make this super versatile and make it easy to cut out. So you can use the same sentiments that I used, or you can use different ones, but inside of here, inside of the booklet, it says your pre-class prep work, so you can always go to this page if you forget exactly what it is, but you're gonna stamp the sentiments, Snow Glad We're Friends, Happy Birthday, and a gift for you using embossing ink on that black cardstock, and then you're going to white heat emboss it, and then you can die cut them out. So this is what they should look like. I just wanted to get these sentiments out of the way so we can really focus on the techniques during the class. There is a fourth sentiment as well, but we're gonna do that one in class because it's on this banner. It's a little bit more involved, and I'm gonna show you how to create it as we go throughout. But super simple homework, just these 3 sentiments is all you need. And of course, like I said, you could do whatever sentiments from the set that you wanted to use on your cards, but these sort of go along with the theme of the different penguins that we're going to be using. Jennifer says, "Don't tell anyone, I kind of like fussy cutting, but only once in a while, but dies are king." Exactly, I agree with that. I love fussy cutting every once in a while, but it's really nice to have the dies because it cuts it out so perfectly with that little border all the way around. Yep, so then be sure to keep your black cardstock for that extra sentiment that we're going to do. So keep the rest of it, don't throw anything away, and then just have those sentiments ready and prepared for class. But then if we walk through the kit really quickly, I love this stamp set that was included inside of the kit. It is so much fun. These penguins are absolutely adorable. And I love that they're solid, so you don't have to color in those black parts, so that it's really easy to just stamp down. You can add a little bit of shading to his belly or like some of the scarves and accessories, and that's really all you have to do, which is so much fun. But they are just adorable. Minimal coloring needed, which is always what I like about them. All right, then of course, like we said, the full die set from Spellbinders. So I love that Ranger and Spellbinders are able to collab on things like this. It's really awesome that we can get both companies together and to kind of line up their schedules to do this. It's not easy, so a huge thank you to both my teams at Ranger and Spellbinders for coordinating everything and really being super helpful in getting everything together. Sometimes it takes, sacrificing the timeline or kind of shoving things in front of other things at the time. And I really appreciate that they're able to kind of do that so we can get everything together in this kit for you, which is awesome. And then also from Ranger, we have this. It is a piece of a background stamp. So at Ranger, we do kind of peel apart background stamps. And so we wanted to include a background stamp for you, but we didn't want to kind of raise the price a ton because then we couldn't include some of the other awesome elements. So what we did is we gave you a strip of a background stamp. This is about 1/4 of a background stamp. And what's awesome about this is with a design like confetti, you're able to kind of, stamp little bits and pieces if you want to, but you can also use it all the way across the card by just repeating the stamping. So that's what's awesome about this. I love a rubber stamp because it gives such a great impression and it's going to do really great job at stamping. But it's awesome that we were able to include that. I was trying to include a background stamp and my team was like, well, what if we do a little piece of it? And that way we're still able to include it and still able to include everything and get them a great value. And this makes it super versatile to have just that strip. So I love that we were able to include that, the really great high quality red rubber stamp. And then of course, let's walk you through the Astro Pastes. I am super excited about these Astro Pastes. So we wanted to include 2 colors. So we ended up giving you 1 fluid ounce of each color. So if you end up purchasing the actual Astro Paste after the class and you really fall in love with these because there are more colors, the Astro Paste that you purchase online will come in a 2-ounce container. So, so that's a little bit of a difference. I want to let you guys know that so that when you purchase them out in the wild, it will be a little bit bigger, but these are so awesome. They are packed with glitter. I love them. So this is that clear skies color. And now one thing you're going to notice with the Astro Paste is they're a little bit kind of a creamy or kind of milky texture to them, but they won't look like that once they're completely dry. I want to be sure you guys know that because some of you might look at them in the jar and be like, that's glittery, but it's not necessarily what I wanted. What's awesome about these is that once they dry, they become a completely different color. So let me show you quickly here. I'm going to pull in a couple of projects that we've created as well as swatches. So let's start off with swatches here. These are my Astro Paste swatches. And right now there are 9 different colors, including the clear transparent, which is called Frostbite. But I mean, check that out. So this is that clear skies color that you got in your kit, and it looks completely different than what it looks like in that jar, right? Because this is that more milky consistency like I showed. It almost has kind of that white look to it, but then once it dries on that cardstock, it's completely transparent and you can see that amazing sparkle and shine. And what's awesome about these compared to the other pastes in my line is we've actually used these pastes in the past. So we've used Lunar Paste in past years. This one is a little bit different because it's a mica base. It's not necessarily sparkly, it's more kind of shiny. So these are a great metallic paste. This is Lunar Paste. There's a bunch of different colors in them. And of course, Lunar Paste is going to be opaque on black and white cardstock, which is great. And then of course we have the neon Lunar Paste, which are really fun. They give these really bright, bold neon colors. And then there's Solar Paste, which is more of kind of a white paste when you look at it straight on. And then when you tilt it in the light, you get these really fun shifted colors. So these Solar Pastes are awesome too. Solar kind of stands for shift. And so yeah, that's how you can kind of remember it a little bit. But these are really great for different effects on your card making projects. But let's talk a little bit about the Astro Paste. So these are really super glittery. Like I said, they'll go on more milky, but they become really glittery in the end. They're opaque when you apply them thick, but if you want to, you can apply them a lot thinner onto your project and they won't be super opaque, which is awesome. You can apply them with your finger or a palette knife, which is really great. I've had a couple questions about shelf life for the Astro Pastes. Now, the Astro Pastes are going to last quite a long time. We're hoping as long as the Lunar Pastes. Ranger puts them through rigorous testing and ovens and heats to kind of act like it's the full life cycle and really put it through its paces and put it through even a harder time than it would have just in your craft room. And they lasted very well up in that in those tests, which is great. It's a similar consistency to Lunar Paste, so we assume that it should have a similar shelf life to Lunar Paste, which as you guys know is quite a long time. Now all pastes are going to have some sort of shelf life, but I would recommend that if you have your pastes and you're kind of using them, right, because there's a lot of air in this one now that we've used more of it, you might want to put a piece of press and seal and push it down into that jar and then seal the edges. That way you're getting rid of any of the air that's in there. especially if you live in a super warm climate that's going to really dry things out. Now, I live over here in Wisconsin, so I tend to not do that because I don't really have problems with things drying out super fast. But let's say you're in Arizona or Texas or different places like that where the climate is much warmer and things have a tendency to dry out a lot easier. You might want to try putting press and seal over it once you've used some of it to get rid of any of the air that's inside of there, and that will hopefully give it a little bit longer of a shelf life. But we're not too worried about them drying up on you, but I would recommend kind of taking best care of them and putting on the lid right after you're done working with them as well. So let me just quickly show you. I want to show you sort of the consistency of the Astro Paste so you guys can see it in action. That way, if you want to, you can kind of work with it a little bit before class. Don't work with it too much because we want to still use those jars for class. But if you want to test a couple things out or try kind of spreading it onto your cardstock, you totally can. So I want to show you quickly. So this is with a palette knife. You can spread it really easily down onto your surface. What I love so much about this Astro Paste is it actually has the same consistency as a lunar and solar paste. I went in with the chemist, and like I said, Ranger makes these all in the US. So we have special formulas, we have special chemists. I went in with the chemist and I was like, I want this to be the same formula, the same consistency as the lunar and solar paste because you guys have fallen in love with it so much. So it's that same creamy consistency that you guys know and love, except for it has a lot of glitter in it. So you might hear the glitter as you're sort of spreading it through, but it's still going to be super creamy and milky consistency. So that's applied super thick, so you're going to really get a nice opaque layer. But if you want to, you can also apply it thinner, like this. And I like to just sort of pounce it on, like this. If you swipe it, you're kind of just removing the glitter. So I would pounce like this, and it's gonna give you the best, most even coverage. And you can see with this, now you can see the white cardstock underneath it. So what's awesome is that you can do like florals or some sort of background or something that you colored in and then tap it on with your finger like this, and you're gonna get a lot less coverage and you can still see through it, which is really, really great. So I love that with any of these pastes, you can apply it with your finger or you can apply it with a palette knife, and you're gonna get a completely different look no matter how you apply it on your surface, which is awesome. And then when it comes to cleanup, you just want to put the excess right back into the jar. And then you're going to just wipe anything off and it should come off pretty easily. I like to use a little bit of water to clean things off too, and then you'll get a little bit cleaner. Let's see. Someone is asking, best way to clean the stencils with paste quickly during the class. You know what? I'm so glad that you asked this because I'm gonna show you quickly, actually, something to have sort of prepared during class. You don't need this if you don't want, but it's good to have. So it's not necessarily homework, but it's something that's good to have, and I thought I'd just let you know here. I tend to just kind of spray my stencils down with water and then wipe them off. But if you have a stencil that's got more pokey edges to it, like the stencil in class isn't super pokey, you can clean this really easily. Let me show you like this. You could wipe anything off and it's not going to break, right? But if you're using your paste and you have more of an intricate stencil, grab a sort of baking pan or something like that. This is just one that I got from Target. I think it's an 8x8, so I got it nice and small so that it would not take up too much space on my work surface. But just put some water in it and then just place your stencil right in the water. You can kind of rub it off underneath the water or just let it sit there. The water is going to keep your paste from drying on your project or on your stencils, and it'll also remove all that glitter so that when you pull them out, it's nice and clean. So I highly recommend this. This is going to be your best friend when we're working during class, just because it's going to keep your stencils clean without you having to go in and clean them after each step. So definitely have this close by. If you have something like it, you could use a little plastic container. You could use anything, just of course make sure it doesn't have holes in it, and make sure you don't care about it a ton because you are going to get kind of glitter in it. Now there's no glitter all over this or anything like that, but don't use your best containers clearly. And I also wouldn't use something you're gonna bake in next time. So I probably would keep something separate than what you are using for food. This one is never gonna touch food ever again. So yep, that's what I recommend. Great question, I really liked that. Awesome. So Karen says she tends to avoid some messier techniques, but she's totally looking forward to trying the Astro Pastes. That's super exciting. I think you're going to absolutely love them. I know that a lot of people say that they aren't really into the messy techniques, but then after they're done with my class, they really are kind of loving the pastes and more messy things like that. Because I think I sort of teach it in a way where you might get a little bit messy, like your fingers might be a little messy afterwards, but it's nothing that you can't wash off of your hands. But the cards tend to be pretty clean and simple at the end. Which I really like. I don't love a ton of mixed media, but I like to incorporate pastes and stuff in ways kind of clean and simple that create beautiful, simple cards. All right. Yes, this is so much easier than spray glue and glitter, definitely. And what's awesome about these pastes too is that once they're completely dry like this, that's that tropical tango color that we just used. So again, you can see once that milkiness dries, the glitter is just gorgeous. But once all of these are completely dry, none of that glitter is gonna come off in your hands. I won't show you this finger because it already has glitter on it, but none of that glitter, once it's completely dry, is coming off in your hands, which is awesome. So when your recipient gets these cards, the glitter isn't going to fall off and they're not going to get a little glitter bomb in their mailbox. So I love that about these, that there's no glitter going anywhere once they're dry, which is awesome. Yes, I'm so excited. You guys all sound like you are super excited to try out the Astro Paste. I can't wait to share that with you. And let me show you a couple cards as well. You can find most of these on my social media as well, but I mean, check it out. So this is mixing some of my Simon Hurley Crate inks along with that Slippery When Wet Astro Paste, which has that beautiful golden color. You can see all that amazing intense sparkle. This one's really awesome. This is an embossing folder that I did with Spellbinders as well as a stencil set. And this one's awesome because I just tapped on the glitter there. So here I ink blended and then I just tapped on a little bit of glitter. You can still see all the color that's underneath it, but it gives it a ton of amazing shine. So that's what I love about thinly applying it with your finger by tapping it, is you can still see all that amazing color and all the texture that's underneath it, which is awesome. How fun is that? This one's really cool. It uses the purple Crown Me from the Astro Paste line. There's a ton of shine in that, and I love this sort of fall card with those pumpkins and this really great flip-flop chevron design. And then last but not least, I recently made this Christmas card on my Instagram, and this one has that tropical tango paste in the background, and I mixed it with inks, and then this adorable Santa on the front. But what I think is so awesome about these pastes is you don't have to use them as like the focal point, right? In most of these cards, it's not a focal point, it's more of a way to embellish your card, and I love that about it. So you're still mixing in all of your inks and all of your regular supplies that you usually would, and the paste just gives a beautiful touch of color and sparkle that's going to make your card really stand out, but it's not necessarily the main focal point of it, which I think is awesome. So these pastes are really just a great addition to your collection to really embellish anything and make them stand out and shine. I love it for stenciling backgrounds and things like that. All right. So I think that's pretty much all that I have to share. If you guys have any more questions, let me know in the chat here. I'll kind of lay down a couple of these amazing projects here. And let me know if you have any more questions about the project, but I don't have a ton to say. I sort of introduced myself. The homework is pretty easy when it comes to these cards, so I love that about it, that there's not too much for you guys to do beforehand. Just again, if you just joined, all you have to do is just prepare the 3 sentiments on your black cardstock. So heat emboss these with white onto your black cardstock and die cut them out. You can always stamp and die cut a couple extra sentiments if you want to, and then one of the sentiments we're gonna do in class together. So just stamp and die cut these and then leave the rest of your black cardstock. Okay, question. Would you please add these extra cards to your class album on Facebook? I love them. Sure, I can totally add them. They're not any part of the class, but I can totally add them just so you guys can see kind of fun ways to use the Astro Paste. Definitely, I'll add it after the class is done on Friday. Question, how did you get to be so cool? I mean, I love that question, but I don't know. It came pretty naturally. No, I'm kidding. The Santa is so adorable. I love it. And I love with the Santa, this one's called, it's from Silly Santas. It's one of my stamp sets that I came out last year with Ranger. But what I love about it is you stamp it, and this is all just stamped in color for you, so there's no coloring. I'm all about no coloring, if you guys can't tell. Oh, Linda Telmain said I get my coolness from my mama. I agree. I agree. All right. Yay. Helen says she's a newbie, looking forward to trying so many awesome techniques, and she's going to love the Astro Paste. Yay, I'm so glad. Well, thank you so much for having me, Catherine. I'm so glad to be here as well. And thank you to everyone for joining in today and anyone who's watching the replay. I cannot wait to teach and share all of these really fun techniques on Friday. It's going to be such a fun class. I've got a lot planned for you guys with the Astro Paste and with all these stamping techniques. And you're going to walk away with some amazing winter cards, but also, like I said, some cards you can give for birthdays, which I think is going to be so much fun. All right, well, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining me today. And again, I'll see you very soon. It was great chatting with all of you.